A priest covers up the criminal background of an employee. Yes, priest John Moineau was asked to resign after an employee was arrested for sexually assaulting a minor. The diocese is collaborating with the Westmoreland County Detective Bureau in its probe into allegations of a conspiracy to conceal the criminal background of the implicated employee, shonharrity. This is terrible, but find out how it all went down.
Don't nobody go in the bathroom for about 45 minutes.
You done fucked up, you know that, don't you?
You got knocked the fuck out! What's happening?
Shonharrity worked as a maintenance worker at the Immaculate Conception in Irwin. Now, last week, Garrity was charged with 8 counts, including sexually assaulting a minor. Harrity's rap sheet doesn't end there. He was also charged with indecent exposure, lewdness, and drug offenses. So what are we doing here? But check this out. In light of all these heinous crimes, Harrity was still employed in many different roles across parishes for over a decade. Yes, over a decade.
God.
This is terrible. See, who are the priests really serving? See, in the Bible, it says, choose ye the day which God you serve. This is crazy. The churches urgently need reform. Matthew 6:24 says no one can serve 2 masters. Either he will hate the one and love the other, or he will be devoted to the one and despise the other. Man cannot love God and money. But this is exactly what we're seeing happen in the churches all across the world. It's almost like the majority of the churches are out of order. In the minority, we got a few small handful of churches that are really preaching the inerrant word of God with God in the center. But this is no longer the norm, and the churches urgently need reform. According to the head bishop, Kulik, he says, I am outraged that he was permitted to be employed at our parishes, and I am beyond disappointed that our tireless efforts to raise the bar on safe environment training were blatantly disregarded. So Garrity previously worked at St. Elizabeth Ann Seton Parish in North Huntington. So again, here we're seeing one issue with a situation is being swept under the rug. So what if you stop him from doing his heinous crimes over here in the East? You allowing him to go into the West to do the same exact thing. The churches urgently need to be reformed. Which God are we serving? This entire ordeal is unacceptable. Harrity's file included an FBI fingerprint check, which should have disqualified Harrity from the rip. However, Harrity's file was sent to Immaculate Conception Parish when Harrity was transferred there just last year in 2023. In light of all of this evidence that this man should not be a part of our parishes, Immaculate Conception failed to honor the disqualified documents for some strange, bizarre reason. I got my thoughts, but you can fill in the blank with whatever your thoughts are, but only they truly know. And there were many other documents missing from Harrity's file. But it seems to me that the ball was clearly dropped, and it seemed like Harrity shouldn't have been the only one charged with a crime. Now, this is why the parish is pointing their finger at Priest Monte, because he certified the completion and accuracy of all required clearances within his parishes. So in other words, this wasn't just an oversight by the priest. He signed off on it. He certified. It's official. And claimed that Monte signed a letter to the bishop confirming he said, I personally reviewed these documents. They're all there. This man, Harrity, is cool. So in my estimation, the priest is just or more of the blame than the actual perpetrator. What's your thoughts? See, when I first saw this story, I'm thinking like maybe this is an oversight. Maybe the priest didn't see it. It's a lot going on in the church. It's a big business. Maybe someone dropped the ball somewhere and it was an oversight. However, when I read, I said, wow, this is fraud, conspiracy, and endangering the lives of children. Yes. Predators are all over the church, and every day I'm getting more and more evidence of it. According to Dave Reese, he is the parishioner at Immaculate Conception. According to him, this is his words. I personally met Father John 40 years ago. He's just an unbelievable person, not just as a priest, but as a person. He would never put someone in harm's way ever if he had knowledge of it. Well, obviously, Dave, your observation of John was totally wrong, right? He's not the person you thought he was. And yes, I agree that priest John is truly unbelievable, but not the way you're trying to convey it, right? I believe he's unbelievable in that he can't be trusted. He cannot be believed. That's how unbelievable I see him as, right? And the thing is that according to Linda Hickson, she has a varied view of the situation. She's a neighbor that attends the parish. Accountability is crucial. It's a shame he had to retire and leave, but if he knew something and didn't report it, then I'm sorry that he was wrong on his past. Stand up for your church and keep your church safe. I agree with Miss Mixon. I totally agree with her. Now, the diocese announced immediately changes to prevent future oversight, but I think this is just PR because I didn't bother to include the changes that they're doing because the changes that they're saying they're making are the changes that they're very similar to the regular policy. So all I'm saying is this. I think this is just PR. I think this is just the parish trying to say, listen, this was an isolated event by priest John Moineau. This has nothing to do with us. I believe that's all this was. I've been doing these videos on these churches. And my thing is this. I grew up in the church. Who I am today was largely shaped and influenced by me attending church. You know, my ability to understand and connect with God, going through my hard situations and understand how to fellowship with like saints and just being filled with the Spirit. I learned that through going to church. And I can only imagine if I empathize with some of these situations and some of our young children and even the adults, having a church that you attend, but then being misled by the ultimate figure, the pastor or the priest. This is disheartening. This is people taking liberties, people that should not be in positions of power, taking liberties at the expense of other people, and it's disheartening. Churches desperately need reform. My heart goes out to all of the church, not only to the victims, but also to the perpetrators. Listen, my heart goes out to you because a lot of you really need help. A lot of you just have been passed around and overlooked and different things like that. And you only surround yourself with people who are similar to you. So I get it. It still doesn't excuse the behavior. And of course, karma's coming for you. However, I pray for you also. And I thank you so much for watching, everybody. I appreciate you. I pray that you will continue to watch. Never forget you are important, you are necessary, and you are sufficient. Always be your best self, because when you're your best self, everybody wins. But when you're not your best self, everybody loses, including you. Again, thank you so much for watching. Please keep watching because I'm going to keep bringing it. So you be great. And more importantly, be blessed.